Hello there, Razzle48 here. Let's talk cross-tag battle. Now, me, like probably most people, are very, very disappointed that yesterday, Friday the 19th, there was no new reveal on the Arknama stream. This was very saddening. I think someone translated they were supposed to do something, talk about DLC or talk about like something, but the guy who was supposed to do it got sick and they couldn't do it. So I'm guessing that they were just saving this trailer to stack on top of the Evo Japan trailer, and they'll just give us two character trailers at Evo Japan. And if that's what happens, then I'll completely forgive them for that. But I stayed up till 7, 8 a.m. for that. I was upset, man. That was sad. Anyway, since we didn't get a trailer, I thought that it would be nice before we start getting hints as to like who fits in these silhouettes to talk about who I think will be in the game in the future. Who the remaining 19 characters are, rather. This is not based on the silhouettes, because for all we know, silhouette interpretation is 100% wrong. This is, I will incorporate a few, but not many. These are the characters that I think are most likely to be the remaining 19. And, so yeah, that's about all there is to it. Let's begin talking about it. So, the first thing is obviously Ruby Yang. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, the way the DLC plan is laid out, Blake is an individual character, there are 6 packs, and there is one more unnamed character. It's undoubtedly going to be Yang. Because of this format, we can tell that there are not going to be any more Ruby characters. So, Yang, that's it for Ruby. Yang will be that last DLC character. So yeah, Ruby, done, out of the way. Now, the rest isn't so simple. That leaves 18 characters left, and there's 2 ways that they could do this. The first way is if they mirrored the base roster, being 10 Blazblue, 4 Persona 4 Arena, and 4 Undernight characters are going to be the remaining 19. The second way they could do this is if they Now, the second way they could do this is if they made packs of, basically if they made it all even, like 6, 6, and 6 for each franchise. And then it's like they made the packs, like they made 2 Blazblue packs, 2 Persona packs, 2 Undernight packs. This is also very likely. So, whether or not they'll, be mirroring the base roster with the character count from each franchise, or whether they will be evening it out from now on, is anybody's guess. So, I'm going to talk about the potential characters that all the franchises could get under both of these scenarios. So let's start with Blazblue. Blazblue will be getting 6 characters if they even them out, and 10 if they mirror the base roster. So let's talk about the 6 that are probably going to be in the game anyway. First of all, Tsubaki and Hakumen. I've been saying this since day one. There's no way in this galaxy that these characters are not going to get in the game. By the way, for those of you saying that they're going to even it out and like do 10, 10, and 10 for in total, and 10 for each franchise, there's no way in this galaxy. I'm sorry, they're just not going to do it. But anyway, Tsubaki and Hakumen. These characters are essential to the Blazblue story, they're essential to the Blazblue universe, and to the Blazblue roster. They've been there almost since the very beginning. Hakumen has been there since the very beginning. For the next 2, I'm thinking Kagura and Hibiki. A lot of people like Hibiki, and I did mention that he'd only be included in this game if Kagura was, and putting Kagura in is not all that far stretched. He's a very important part of the Blazblue story as well. Is a unique playstyle. I've heard some people say they want him to make it in. And Hibiki is a character that everyone would like to see in as well. Next we got Tao, generic comic relief character. I know Makoto is also a comic relief character, but she's more in for the Noelle's Friends archetype than anything. So Tao and Celica as the quote-unquote puppet character. Also, because Celica is also an important part of the Blazblue story, she has a unique play style that would easily fit into cross-tag battle, and her stage was the first one that made it in. Yeah, so those are the 6 that I think are going to make it into Blazblue anyway. And then we have the remaining 4 for if they mirror the base roster instead of just give 6 to each franchise. And I think that those remaining 4 would be Naoto. This character probably wouldn't make it in if they only did 6 because he's sort of like Ragna from another dimension-ish. He's Ragna from the World of Light novels. I've said that before in joke form, but it's true, alright? Like that's what Naoto is. Terami would only be included if they went so far as to make the total number count for Blazblue 20. There's no way they'd put this character on the roster twice. And I've explained why, Hazama and Terami are the same character in regard to putting them both on this roster before. I'll do it again in the comments if I have to. But yeah, Terami, he is a character that a lot of people like. And so if they try to pull out a total of 10 more Blazblue characters, I think Terami will be one of them. Then we got Bang. Bang's just a generically cool character who's been there from the beginning. And then we got Mai, a character who a lot of people like with a very simple play style that could fit into cross-tag battle. I originally would not have kept this character anywhere close to this list, but since S's inclusion, Mai's chances have improved, and her play style is like good. It's good for this game. Like, it fits and everything. So yeah, those are the 10 Blazblue characters that I think could make it in. Tsubaki, Hakumen, Kagura, Hibiki, Tao, Celica, Naoto, Terami, Bang, Mai. But then, you gotta take into account the silhouettes. And there's not much you can tell. I'm not going to take into consideration the guesses that I made, only the things that I've been able to tell for sure. There was only a few things that I could tell for sure. One of which is that Izuyoi is definitely there, which means she'll be there instead of Tsubaki. Which I think is perfectly fine as long as Tsubaki makes it onto the roster in one form or another. It's all good to me as long as that character is there. Sort of weird that Noelle's there when she couldn't be in her powered up form of Mu 12 too. But I understand that from a story perspective. Then we got Arachne. I think Arachne will probably replace Bang if he were to make it onto this roster. I don't know. Simply because none of the silhouettes look like Bang. Bang's also not really a necessity. He's been comic relief since day one. He's not really important, even though he's a classic character. And then, like, I threw Lychee on here as well. Simply because we did see that pole thing, and it looks a lot more like a pole than my spear, so I think taking the silhouettes into consideration, Lychee will be a character included instead of Mai, which makes sense from this silhouette perspective as well, because they're including Arachne, and Lychee and Arachne pair very well for obvious story purposes. So, if you take silhouettes into consideration, there you go. You got Izuyoi, Hakumen, Kagura, Hibiki, Tao, Celica, Naoto, Terami, Arachne, Lychee. So, there you go. Those are my guesses for Blazblue. Then we got Persona. I think Persona will have 4 characters if they mirror the roster, 6 if they evenly distribute them. Persona's kind of obvious. It's like you got Kanji, Teddy, Naoto. Like, for absolute certain, they're just gonna finish the investigation team. These characters are all trademark characters. Teddy's the mascot, Kanji's the signature grappler, Naoto is a sort of a set play character, very unique play style. It very much makes sense that she'd represent the game, on top of the fact that she's just like, you know, part of the investigation team, part of the core of the game. And then for the last character who I think's gonna make it in regardless of what they do, I think that's gonna be Labris. Labris is like the core part of Persona 4 Arena. She is like the center point of that story. And also, like, if they put Labris in, then they wouldn't have to, like, bother with Persona 3 characters. And I word it like that because Because if they only put in one Persona 3 character, that'd be very weird to have that character detached from the rest of Persona 3's roster like that, just like included all by themselves in this game. And so I think Labris as like a P48 character, which is the actual game that's being represented, would make a lot of sense, considering that she was the focal point of the story. But then, if they do 6 characters in total, and decide to evenly distribute them, I think Mitsuru could very well make it in. Mitsuru was the leader of the Shadow Operatives, and she led the Persona 3 side of Persona 4 Arena's story. She was just as much of a protagonist in Persona 4 Arena as Narukami was. And, before anyone says anything, I understand that Aigis was like the protagonist of The Answer, that little subplot that happened for Persona 3. I don't take that into consideration at all. Like, that's like irrelevance compared to Persona 4 Arena's actual story, compared to Persona 3's actual story. I just don't take it. No. I don't think Aigis is going to be in this game. But anyway, the next character who I think is going to make it in for Persona if they do 6 is Adachi, for obvious reasons. This character is tied into the Persona 4 cast. Everyone wants Adachi. This character's cool. Everyone wants him. He's Persona 4 related to the base Persona 4 characters, which is the route that they seem to be taking it. They seem to be taking it in a Persona 4 focused route instead of an arena route or one that incorporates P3 characters. So those are my guesses for Persona 4 Arena if they do 4 or 6 characters. That one was pretty standard. Let's talk about Under Night. The 4 that I think are... this one was kind of difficult for me. But I think that if they were to choose 4 characters to include in Under Night, one's going to be Hilda. Like, absolute certain. This character is 100% essential to Under Night. Then, probably Orie as well. Orie is another character that's like... She was one of the first 5 characters added. People love her. She's she's like on the cover of latest. She's like as pronounced as like Hyde and Lynn. Like, I think for certain Orie is going to be in the game. And then we got Seth. Seth is the main rival. I think he's equivalent to Yosuke and Jin, even though like he wasn't equivalent to Yosuke and Jin in terms of roster count. Yosuke and Jin were the 2nd characters added to both of their games. Seth was not. Seth was like the 8th character added to Under Night, which I think is the only reason he hasn't been revealed yet. But I do think Seth's going to be in this game. And then, for the final spot for just 4 characters, if they go 4 characters, I was really tempted to say Carmen, but I do think it's going to be Yuzu. Yuzuria is the most popular Under Night in Birth character. I've said this before, and also, like, she looks like multiple silhouettes. Like, I know we're not really taking silhouettes into consideration for this list, but I think Yuzu has a multitude of reasons to make it in. She is tightly associated with Hyde, the main character. They were childhood friends. Oh yeah, I read up on the lore in preparation for playing a latest story in a couple weeks. But anyway, Yuzu, I think Yuzu's going to be in the more and more that I think about it. But Carmen will be in if they do 6 characters. Carmen was the first character that came to my head for a 5th character. If they evenly distribute the DLC character spots evenly among the franchises, Carmen will be in the game. And also, the 6th character, I said, is going to be Merkava. But the thing is that one of the silhouettes I'm pretty darn sure is Eltnum. Like, I'm really, really convinced of this. And if that's the case, I think that Eltnum could very easily replace Merkava or Carmen. I actually have it on my script here that she would replace Carmen, but I don't think so. I think that she'd easily replace Merkava. Carmen was like, just like Orie, one of the, Carmen was just like Orie, one of the first 5 characters added. I I think that like he has a really high chance of making it in the game. And as for why I think Eltnum is going to be in this roster besides the silhouette fact, it's because S made it in. S looks like she's going to be in the game representing X-Blaze more than Blazblue, and they use Blazblue as a kind of cover for that, and I think that that's really, really cool. And I think Eltnum will make it in representing French bread. Not French bread, I keep effing that up. In the game representing Melty Blood. Through Undernight as a sort of like medium for that, and I think that that'd be really cool as well. So that's it. Those are the characters that I think are the remaining ones. I'm certain I'm getting at least one of them wrong, regardless of which route they take it. The silhouettes are whack enough to assure me of that, but just only barely taking the silhouettes into consideration, just the stuff that I could tell that I'm like very convinced about. These are my guesses. So thank you all for watching. Tell me in the comments who you think is going to be in this game, not counting the silhouettes. If you want to tell me that, just go to my silhouette video where I analyzed them. But just tell me in the comments, who do you think is going to be in this game? Just thinking about it. Yeah. So, thank you all for watching. Stay hyped for EVO Japan. It really looks like they're going to give us 2 reveal trailers this upcoming weekend. It's going to be super exciting. So, for now, this is Razzle48 saying goodbye, and I will see you next time.